Hello everybody and welcome back to another video. Not sure how you really react to that one. I mean, like it's a tough pill to swallow for sure. And obviously I've been talking about over these last few weeks how important, getting every point possible is to the Canadians, and what losing streaks are going to do to this team. Unfortunately, that's exactly what is about to start happening here. Um, yeah, I mean, like with this loss here, the Canadians have moved back to the top of the wild card position. Definitely a place that we would be happy to be in this time last year, but the situation is a lot different. I think the Canadians deserve a lot more than where they are right now. The Canadians should be contending for that top of the Atlantic spot right now, but unfortunately, things just are not going their way right now, especially in this one. Yeah, I mean, like it's a tough pill to swallow. I mean, two goals in 15 seconds for the Boston Bruins at the tail end of that game there to tie it late and then take the lead. It's tough. I mean, I thought Montembeault played a great game. Obviously, the offense, Cole Caufield played a great game today. Defensively, I think we could have been a little bit better, but that's kind of something we've seen over the past few games here. It's just a matter of we just can't find a way to seal it off there. We played a solid minute, and we played 59 seconds and 59 minutes and 45 seconds or something like that. Like just that 15-second gap there is the big difference there. So I'm mincing my words here, but it's tough. It's tough to see that happen. It's tough for that to happen to your group, especially when we were having such a big night. We were responding to everything that Boston was giving us. We were keeping the lead the whole time. Obviously Cole Caufield gets the hat trick tonight. A really good performance from him. Padding those stats, proving USA Hockey wrong every chance he gets. But yeah, I mean, the Boston Bruins just didn't go away. And, at the end of the game there, they were able to find one. The Fraser Minten goal to tie it up was a little bit weak. Montembeault probably should have had that save, but if things like that happen, those goals go in every once in a while and happen to bounce the right way for him. And then Geeky scores on an absolute bullet of a one-timer, like right after we give them a power play opportunity. It's just, a sequence of bad events there that doesn't really go our way. The other goals there are just, we're just not able to cover guys. The Arvidsson goal to tie it up in the second period is just, like Montembeault makes a great first saves, but then, the second one he's not there for because none of our defensemen are there. And the whole reason why none of our defensemen is there on the second goal is because Mike Matheson wanted to, play hero on the other end and kind of go all the way down the ice. And then, of course, he's not there to defend afterwards, and Geeky scores to make it 2-2. But I liked our effort, throughout most of this game. Cole Caufield obviously scoring goal number 27, 28, and 29, two of which on the power play, two of which some complete snipes there. The first goal to open the game was a really nice pass from Matheson. He gets a sauce pass into area there for his 20th assist there. Jake Evans gets his 6th assist of the season on that one too. The second one, obviously, Cole's 28th. Suzuki gets his 42nd assist, and Slavkovsky his 22nd assist there. So just, and just Cole Caufield making nice plays, a nice pass from Suzuki on that one. And then the one that would give us the lead for the time being is 29th of the season for Cole Caufield. Suzuki gets his 43rd assist, and Lane Hudson his 44th assist there. So continue to play really well. I liked our effort going into the third period here. I feel like the biggest reason why things didn't go the way we wanted them to into that third period is just because the Canadians let off the gas a little bit. They tried to play, a more sit-back defensive role, and I just don't really think the Canadians are apt to play the game that way. It just doesn't really work for them. I would love it to work for them to be able to just shut it down defensively, just, like get rid of the game, just like go and be done with it after 3-2. But that's not what happens there. Obviously, as I mentioned before, the Minton goal kind of tough, and then literally 15 seconds later, Geeky scores, and that was too much for the Canadians to come back from in Boston, a team that they struggle against historically, both home and away. So it's a tough one. I mean, it's one that I feel like we definitely deserve to come away with at least a point in. But like the Boston got the bounces the way they needed him to. Obviously, that penalty down by the end of the game there to give Morgan Geekie that opportunity on the power play to take the lead. That's a tough penalty to take there. Yeah, like it's just I feel like generally speaking, our defense could be better in a variety of situations in this game. I think we're a little bit better defensively. We shut down some more of those chances, and we actually score a hat trick and win a game. But that's unfortunately not what happens in this one. It's just disappointing. It's just like we had so many opportunities to get solid points here, and I feel like we played well enough in a lot of these games over the past few weeks to get those points and put ourselves in a solid position. And we're kind of seeing that slip away a little bit. Of course, as I already mentioned, we are sitting at top of the wild card position. Boston only 1 point behind us right now, and they're really showing no signs of slowing down. 8-2-0 in their last 10. The Canadians dropped to 5-4-1 in their last 10, so they're really not, having a whole lot of success right now. And now that we're in that wild card position, we're competing with everybody in that wild card spot. We got Philadelphia at 57 points, Toronto at 57 points, New Jersey, Washington 56, 55. Like everybody is really close in that margin there. Like we're not in a safe position by any means. The Canadians absolutely need to find a way to turn things around and start winning some games. And unfortunately, as I already mentioned, in our previous videos here, it is not getting any easier for them to find a way to succeed. The Canadians are playing the Golden Knights on Tuesday, a really solid team who's also 8-2-0 in their last 10. So they've been having a lot of success, and then we're going to be playing, Colorado 2 days later. So again, like these are really solid teams that we're going to be playing in the next few days here. We got the Sabres again this coming Saturday, so it's not getting any easier. Every opponent we have, at least for the next couple of days, is a really solid opponent. And I'm telling you right now, if the Canadians do not come out of this 3-game stretch with a winning record in that 3-game stretch, we are going to be sitting outside of the playoff spot looking in. That's the situation we have right now. The Canadians have played really, really solid over the last, over this entire season, over the last 52 games. But, the problem is that, as I've been mentioning, every single team in the Eastern Conference right now, aside from like Ottawa and New York, like the Rangers, like those are the only teams that aren't in the mix. Everybody else is looking for the playoff spot that we're holding right now. And if the Canadians cannot find a way to start winning some hockey games and start climbing back up the standings, getting some more points in the standings, we're going to be on the outside looking in, and then we're going to have to do the exact same thing that we did last year, and really have to play above our pay grade after that Olympic break to make ourselves back into a playoff position here. So we got to find a way. Got to find a way to play 60 minutes. We haven't been able to do that really all season here. And obviously, you chalk that up a little bit to the youth of this group, and they're still trying to find their way and try to find a way to be a successful team. Obviously, they made it into the playoffs last year by being streaky at the right time. Obviously, winning really solid games. Winning going on winning streaks or whatever in like February to April, but. That's not what good teams do. The good teams are good the whole season, and they find a way to clinch the playoffs in March, and not have to worry about it. And really, even more importantly, just being able to win consistently. The Canadians have not found a way to do that. But if they want to make the playoffs this year, if they want to be in that mix again like they were last year, that you have to find a way to be consistently good, and you cannot find yourself in a hole. You find yourself in a losing streak here. The Canadians are on a losing streak right now. They've lost their last 2 in a row now. Only 5-4-1, as I mentioned, in their last 10. So obviously there aren't easy games coming up by any means. We're playing 3 really solid opponents that are all playoffs teams right now, but they have to find a way to find these wins here. Like we cannot lose 2 out of these next 3 games here, because I guarantee you, the Boston Bruins are not losing 3 games out of 3 in their upcoming games here. Philadelphia is still being really competitive. Toronto is really turning things around as of late. They were, like last in the Atlantic at one point, and now they're climbing their way back up. And obviously, they've been a playoff team, for years. They've got one of the longest streaks right now. So I don't think that they're looking to not make the playoffs. Obviously, Florida, two-time Stanley Cup champions, the reigning Stanley Cup champions. Obviously, they are only getting better as things go along here. So I cannot stress enough that the Canadians absolutely need to find a way to win these upcoming games here. I don't care how good the opponents are. If they can't win these upcoming games, they are not making the playoffs this year. This is my guarantee. If the Canadians do not win at least 2 out of the 3 games coming up, over our next 3 here against Vegas, Colorado, and most importantly against Buffalo, the Canadians will not make the playoffs this year. So we'll have to see what happens there. Obviously, it all remains to be seen, as I always say. But this is, the Canadians didn't have to be in this position. Obviously, we could have won some of those more important games, be a little bit more solid throughout a 60 minutes and come away with a win tonight. And, against Buffalo, there were definitely opportunities for us to make things happen and not be in this position. But fact of the matter is we are in this position right now. We are absolutely, teetering between playoffs and missing the playoffs right now, and the Canadians have to find a way to find another gear and put themselves in a solid position going into the Olympic break, and then use that momentum to carry them towards April in the playoffs. So that's pretty much all I have for this one. It's a heartbreaking loss, to say the least, especially against our old rivals in the Boston Bruins there. But it all comes down to what you do now. Like, the Canadians are in a bit of a hole, they're in a bit of a losing streak here, and they're definitely in jeopardy of losing their playoff position to some other really solid teams, or itching to get their playoff spot and get our playoff spot from us. Here's the next few games. Obviously, we got the Vegas Golden Knights coming up here, so that's pretty much all I have for this one. The Canadians have to win games moving forward here. They cannot put themselves in a hole. If they put themselves in a hole going into the Olympic break, they're not going to make the playoffs. That's my prediction here. So hopefully they can turn things around here. Lean on, Caufield having a hot hand right now, scoring some goals, play a little bit more solid defensively, protect Montembeault a little bit better, and Dobesh when he's in there. And we got to find a way to start turning things around, start winning some hockey games. So that's pretty much all I have for you guys on this one. So hopefully we'll get back on the winning train here, and I will see you guys after our next one.